I think I might know why. It's fan expectations. That's what I think it might be. And I tell you this, you remember how there were rumors that the reason why it was delayed is because they woke it up when they saw the huge backlash that every other company was getting and how much money they were losing, and they want this to be the biggest, best launch of all time. So they took another year to take all the garbage out. That's a rumor, so we don't know. But interesting. I'm going to assume it is under the umbrella of fan expectations. So, says Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick says he is terrified about the release of Grand Theft Auto 6 in particular. You expect...
I'll fill you in on the way.
That's what I figured. Being the expectation of fans after such a long wait. GTA 6 might be the most highly anticipated game of all time. The previous game in the series was released way back in 2013, and fans have spent the last 13 years wondering why, but no win, chance to play the follow-up. The good news is that the game seems to be exciting. GTA 6 is slated to be released November 19th, while PS5 and Xbox provided the game does not seem to be delayed. Take-Two has Take-Two and the developer Rockstar Games have pushed it back several times for years. Fans are understandably skeptical about whether the decision actually come out. Yeah, your release debut actually coming out is a meme now. Since people always say, "Oh, we got this for GTA 6. We got that for GTA 6." Everything, no matter what it is. We're getting World War III. We're getting World War II. GTA 6. Like, no matter what it is. During this week at ICON, the Interactive Innovation Conference, Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick was asked about measuring the success of GTA 6. And he responded that he is terrified at the prospect of meeting the lofty expectations of the fan community. That's not all that surprising. People are so eager for the information that one GTA 6 fan counted all the trees in the trailer shot. Why? It has to be a lot of to share a lot of optimism about the state of the game. Why? Why would you do that? What would you think about this most spectacular piece of entertainment on Earth in history? And it's a pretty daunting challenge. Yeah, well, you put that way on yourself. You're going to be terrified too. If we do that and we're of service to our customers, the campsite will take care of itself. Man. Well, the man is concerned. And I think he should be, to tell you the truth. Even if you're a super confident person, I think it's got to creep in there, you being concerned about this launch. If they did everything right, they have nothing to worry about. They really don't. Because, the franchise speaks for itself. So as long as they did everything right, they literally have nothing to worry about. You know what I'm saying? If they did everything right, the worst thing to worry about is it just not being as good as 5. You know what I'm saying? Because that would be what they're going to compare it to. Most likely. I mean, they'll compare it to others, but 5 is no treat. So, but if it's good, but it's not as good as 5, I think that'll be an issue. People will be like, wait, this long for something that ain't even as good as 5. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's still good. I think. Yeah, those will be good numbers. Post comments down below. Let me know what you all think about this situation. Should he be terrified or not? Terrified!
Don't you dare destroy our shit, you freaking pinwheel turnpipes! If I don't get those weapons, I swear I will go
Wow!
goddamn G.
Full plot, huh? Alright. Sure. By Here are these details that help me figure out whether I'm a light movie or not. Check this out right now. Get over and follow the cops with one and tell me the name.
So we reportedly have a full plot link for Avengers Doomsday, and I have read it, and I must say, it is pretty interesting. I've been getting a lot of DMs asking for my thoughts on this, asking if it's real. So we're going to go over it, and I guess we can do very specific thoughts about this, and that's the issue with spoilers, of course. Anything about Avengers Doomsday, of course. You should probably click away. I can start a decent amount of what is in this already. So it might not be that big of a spoiler to you in some sense, but it is very detailed and a lot more than what we're hearing, so let's not waste any time, because it's long. Let's dive into it. I'll give you my
He said,
thoughts about it after. It starts off and it says, we're in a rainy New York. The camera pans up to the sky as we see another Earth approaching beneath a red sky. On a bridge we see Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. Wolverine seems shaken and is holding the device in his hands, an anti-matter bomb. As he goes to plant it in the ground, he catches a scent and is suddenly confronted by this Earth's protector, Spider-Man. But not just any Spider-Man. It's Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Spider-Man tries to stop Wolverine from planting the device, while Deadpool attempts to interfere with him. An intense fight breaks out. Wolverine doesn't want to hurt Spider-Man, but Spider-Man manages to handle both of them and repeatedly prevents the bomb from being planted.
sounds like he should be able to. His enhancements to make it so. You know what I mean? I've talked about this before. Like, you can't stand when they have certain characters fighting. It's like clearly, yeah. It's highly lopsided. But for the story to make them more even, you know, like it just, like the Kingpin should never land the finger on Spider-Man. But there have been fights where he has, which makes no sense. You know what I'm saying?
Centimeters. I find this part ironic because he's already been to launch and destroy the entire planet, but yet he doesn't want to hurt Spider-Man? I mean, I kinda get it, but still. Does eventually Wolverine succeed in planting the device? Deadpool opens up a portal using a stolen jet pad and tells Wolverine to run because the job is done. At that moment, we cut to Deadpool returning to Xavier's mansion, where an elderly Charles Xavier watches through the window, filled with remorse, as yet another world is destroyed. He sees debris from the planet falling from the sky. We then see Steve Rogers' house. We discover that he has been living peacefully with his wife Peggy Carter and their son James after traveling back in time in Endgame. However, they're surprised by an unusual visitor, Loki. More precisely, it's the Loki from the period between the first and second season of the series. The Loki who still works with Mobius, who waits outside. Loki explains to Steve the concept of the TVA and tells him that, thanks to Loki explains that Steve created a timeline that caused a paradox, and that this timeline needs to be covered by the TVA because it should not exist. However, out of gratitude and because he sees that Steve finally got a happy ending, Loki relocates Steve to another universe against Mobius' wishes. He explains that this is exactly what Mobius once did for him before leaving Steve with a TVA device so they can stay in contact. Steve is now living on Earth 828, the universe of the Fantastic Four. We cut to a baseball game on Earth 828 featuring Reed Richards, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm. They receive an intrusion alert from the Baxter Building, and when they arrive, they discover a strange figure speaking with Sue Storm and Franklin. Victor Von Doom, Dr. Doom himself.
Okay.
Doom warns them that he has studied the multiverse for years and that an incursion is about to happen. He explains that when the fabric between two realities tears apart, a magnetic attraction forms between the two universes, and the primary collision point between them is each universe's Earth. That's just,
Well, Magneto's around, you should be able to help with that situation.
that's how it is in comics. Victor
But maybe it's too powerful of a magnetic attraction for him to fix that.
explains that the Earth somehow triggered the incursion and that only Reed Richards' intellect can help solve the crisis. We discover that Victor is obsessed with incursions. He knows everything about them. Sue Storm remains suspicious of Victor the entire time, fully aware that the man's Steve and James. They eventually track down Steve, now bearded with long hair, who has spent the last decade in this universe and therefore doesn't know the Fantastic Four. I'm sure he knows of them, but doesn't personally know them. They explain the situation to Steve, who becomes emotional and agrees to join them in search of a solution. Steve then explains that he used the Infinity Stones to travel back in time, but that the timeline he created was never supposed to exist. He reveals that a being named Loki, someone he already knew, eventually relocated him because Loki was part of an organization that controlled the timelines. Next page.
Loki's a good guy.
After much research, Reed discovers that there's a universe destroying other universes and says he wants to know how it's done. Steve is against this idea, while Reed thinks all possibilities should be considered. Steven says he knows a place where the technology might be sufficient. Dave explains to them that not only will that universe collide with them, but another universe, they travel from one universe to another, the time for the incursions decreases drastically, which is why they need to be quick.